This is Joeyesko, and I'm making a tutorial on how to bounce out tracks out of FL Studio properly so you can put them into another DAW for mixing and mastering, such as Pro Tools, Logic, Ableton, Audacity. I mean, the DAWs, there's so many of them out there, Studio One, Cubase. Either way, doesn't matter what you use, but this is how to bounce out, perfectly, I would say, or as perfect as you could get it. I might be ignorant, there might be a different way to do this, but this is the only way I found to actually get it the exact way you want it and to keep all the WAV files in place. And these are actually called WAV files right here. So, let's go ahead and get started. This is a single off of my new mixtape called ESKONOMICS VOL.1, the new class, hence DJ ESKO. That's where the best go, straight from the West Coast. I know, but either way, this track is a track that I did with DEEZIE, aka DEEZIE Washington, and it was recorded and tracked at my boy's home studio. Shout out to Nelly Ray. FL Studio is his go-to program, so that's why I'm going over this, because he said, "Why don't you make a little video on this?" I said, that's probably a good idea, because I've never found one on YouTube, so I'm going to post this up. So here we go. Okay, you see how everything is color-coded. I mean, he did color-code and name them slightly, which sometimes this is okay, but for me, this is just too basic, and they're too alike, and there's too many different WAV files here. So, what I would first do is see what these are right here, okay? If you notice, they're a little bit different than what these WAV files look like. The forms are a little bit thinner, they're not as thick, or the width is not as big. So let me go ahead and solo this. You could right click on these little green buttons to solo it. Okay, so they seem like they're just like in between filler or like the intro, or like kind of like ad-libs a little bit, but they're more of like a harmony filler. So I'm just going to call them a harmony filler. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show a little way to do this here. Okay, so let's say you want to add tracks here. So you right click on one of these tracks, you want to add a track just to kind of split them up a little bit. We're starting off with the organizational a little bit. So let's go ahead and do this. You could add one, since we called it harmony filler, that's what it's going to be called. Harmony filler 1. And I will keep it gray here. Alright, you see that? Alright, so now what we need to do is we need to split it away from this WAV file, which I think these WAV files, when I first listened to this is actually the first part of the hook. This is a 2-part hook. So we actually want to slice somewhere over here to split the track up. So you go to the slicer tool. I'm just going into like editing. It's not really the balancing part, but it's going to help you. So you go back to the cursor. Okay, you see this one has no audio, so I just right clicked and eliminated that. Okay, so see how I just brought it up? So now it's in its own track. At this point, we want to add another one. So let's go ahead and insert one above that. Harmony filler 2. If you notice, I'm keeping it the same color so I don't get mixed up in here when I'm moving stuff around. Okay, so each harmony is on harmony filler is its own track now. It's different. This track right here is actually the hook. So it's actually the first part of the hook. So I'm going to name this hook part 1. Alright, as you see here, it's hook part 1. This is a stack for the hook. As you see, the WAV file looks similar. So you're going to make this hook part 1 stack. This is part of organizational again. So, alright, so we got that. So you guys get how to change that. Again, to do that, you right click and you go to rename. Okay, right click on one of these tracks, you go to rename. You can write the name, pick a color here. You can also pick different colors, as you can see. Alright, so I just showed you how to organize a little bit, slice and move around the track. So try not to put too much on one track. Try to keep them kind of bundled together, as you can see here. Okay, eliminating that one. You see how this one's like a main vocal. I would just change the color to that. Let's just say I make it blue. Okay, you see how it's different. And since this is the verse or main vocal, I'm going to make this blue as well, but just a different color. Okay, so you try to bundle the colors together by right clicking, go to rename color. This is part of the organizational that I'm talking about. I showed you how to use the slicer tool up here. Okay, it looks like a box cutter, and you can slice multiple tracks to kind of eliminate the dead noise. Okay, the reason why it might save some time in the future, but I'm not going to go deep into that right now. This video is about bouncing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you what I came up with after I organized it correctly. And then after I did that, then I bounced it out. So give me a second here. And after I show you how to bounce out one of these, or to show you what it looks like, how all these stay in place and that's the way you want it, so you're not nudging stuff around to try to fit it onto the beat, because straight up as a DJ, I don't mind doing it with, turntables, DDJs, CDJs, whatever you use. I don't mind doing that on those, but on editing software, I don't want to be nudging stuff around. It's very tedious. So that's why I'm showing you guys how to bounce this out correctly, so all the wave files stay in place on the track. And then you can go into mixing and mastering. Okay, so this, if you notice, it's very organized. It is very easy to distinguish what's going on here. Okay, everything's color coded. They're in the same color boat. They're named correctly. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm just gonna pick one. Let's go ahead and bounce out this main vocal. I did the intro, the harmony fillers, but I found an intro. And I put it with the main vocal because the wave files are about the same thickness. So what you're going to do to bounce out is you're going to right click on this green button in the corner, the bottom right corner of a track. And right click. Okay, you're going to solo it out. Then you're going to go up here to the master volume. You're going to bring it down, I would say about 75%. Then you're going to go to this button right up here. Okay, it's called a render as audio file button. Click on that, left click on that. Alright, I have a folder for this, so it's going to be called Down on You, because that's the name of it. Down on You Audio. It's right here. Okay, if you notice, I already did some of them to do a little practice just to make sure this was going to work. So this is going to be called main vocal, just like how it showed there. So again, I don't get mixed up. So main vocal, okay, pick the folder, main vocal, make sure you click on wave because there's different files to pick from, but make sure you click on wave file, then you click on save. Once you hit the folder, you rename it, hit save. Okay, you notice it's 3 minutes and 29 seconds, that's the whole length of the track. Make sure you only click on wave, do not click on MP3. MP3s are shit when you're trying to mix and master, so make sure you do wave. At least do 16-bit is the depth. I like to do 24-bit. I will talk about it later, but I'm going to do 24-bit just to show you guys this is the standard settings, what I would do to bounce it out. So, alright, it's going to start bouncing out into that file that I picked, the Down on You audio file. I mean, you can name your file whatever, but I would name it, the name of the song. And again, this track is off ESKONOMICS Vol.1, the new class, coming out March 14, 2016. A lot of fresh slappers and bangers and even panty droppers, So, again, I'm DJ ESKO. Shout out to my boy Nelly Ray, Cali Dreams, Remy the Great. DEEZIE, aka DZ Washington, my whole MDM fam. Um, the cats at X Gang, they show me love too a lot. Price Jones, Manny Jungle Boy Jackson. I got some cats out of Florida here, South Carolina, Atlanta. Young homie Damon. He's a hot new artist coming out. Showtime O'Neal too, out of Atlanta. All right, so enough talking about that. I'm just kind of filling the time here. All right. And sorry about that. All right. So just bounced out. It's going to give you a little tone. And again, when you do, a different one, like the dubs right here, you'd right click on the corner. You'd go to this render button again. You would find the file down on new audio. Okay, make sure it's wave. You'd rename this. As you see, it says main vocal. I'm just going to call it main dubs on here. Main dubs. Go to save. Comes up to the screen. Go to start. Again, make sure it's wave. I like to do 24-bit. Make sure it's at least 16-bit. You don't want to go back to 1980 with 8-bit. Sorry for your SP1200 cats. For vocals, you don't want to do that. Alright, so I just showed you how to do that. So we bounced out tracks. I showed you how to organize it. If you have any questions on that, hit me up, joeyesko@yahoo.com, or Joey_ESKO on Facebook, SoundCloud, and also DJ ESKO on Mixcloud. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get out of this right here. I'm not going to save anything because I already did. Alright, so I'm going to open up Audacity really quick just to kind of show you what it looks like. Everything's placed in the track just like it was in FL Studio, so you're not nudging stuff around. Alright, so wait for this. I used to use Audacity a long time ago for voiceover stuff and to record my mixes because it's free, but I'm just going to go over this really quick for you. So hopefully it pops up. Alright, don't care about that. So you're going to import audio. I'm going to show you everything stays into place even though they're on different tracks, but the different tracks stayed in place where they're supposed to be. Okay, so let's go to our down a new audio file. Okay, that means I have a minute left. Okay, so I have a minute to show you guys everything. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop in the hook. Just to show you it's in place for the hook. And this is why I bounced it out this way, so everything's in place when you put it into a different DAW such as Pro Tools. Okay. And then, so that's the hook. Now I'm going to show you the main vocal. I'm going to pop in the main vocal. So the hook and the main vocal are different spots, as you know, and you'll see it's in between, and it's just going to be a little different. Apologize for the little wait. This is an old computer. I don't really use PCs, hence the why I'm trying to bounce it out whenever I get files like this. But shout out to my boy Nelly Ray. He's my boy, and this is his go-to program. So I'm just trying to show him and everyone else how to bounce it out better and more accurately. Okay, you see here, everything's in place. In place the way it's supposed to be. The track is 3 minutes and 30 seconds on here. Well, it's 3 minutes and 29 seconds. But as you see, everything's in place. This is how you're going to want to see it in the other DAWs where you're mixing and mastering, or if you send it in for mixing and mastering, so they don't call you about it, because that's what happened with me. I tried to rush, and I thought these were already in place, and they weren't. So nothing, no offense to Nelly Ray, that's my boy. But I'm trying to show everyone how to do this properly. This is just a little mini video. If you have any questions, joeyesko@yahoo.com, or hit up my YouTube channel.